Ooh, fuck. Hello, everybody. It feels so weird, like, being here making a video, because it's been so damn long since I made a video. Which, new setup, by the way. Like, look at this. Isn't this fucking awesome? Yeah. Still more to come. I'm probably going to change out the shelves and stuff, later on. Um, yeah, we'll just see. As I get more books, obviously. It just kind of needed something on the shelves right now, so it is what it is. I got my spaghetti because I had to multitask, and I need to make a video tonight. I didn't care. I was gonna make a video regardless. So I'm sorry that you guys had to watch me eat while I'm making this video. I'll try to minimize it. Mm. Yeah, it probably sounds horrible on the mic. I may cut this out. If it makes you feel any better, the spaghetti is cold because I spent so much time trying to get the framing correct to where my spaghetti is cold now. And I don't feel like going downstairs to reheat it just to mess up the framing again. So, yeah. Anywho, I want to talk to you guys about what I've been reading and what I plan to read for the rest of the month of March. By the time this video goes live, we will be halfway or probably a little bit past halfway through March. So yeah, a little bit late, but better late than never, right? Okay. Let's get right into it because I don't know how much battery this microphone has and I don't want it to die. So, I thought I'd start off by going over like kind of what I've read so far for this year, as well as my thoughts on it and stuff and what I plan to read, like I said, for the rest of the month. So I read Fourth Wing. I've been big into fantasy. If you saw my previous videos, I read ACOTAR. I've recently completed. I think I made videos on both Mist and Fury and I know for sure ACOTAR, but I think I made one on Mist and Fury. I'm not sure if I posted it or not. Anywho, I'm through with ACOTAR series, which is really fucking sad because the last two books, no, Wings and Ruin and Silver Flames, not the novella. Wings and Ruin and Silver Flames, oh my god, like, what a rush, what, just, and it's like that bittersweet feeling. I'm just so sad that it's over because I fucking had a great ass time reading those books, you know, and I got so attached to the characters, and now that it's over, I'm just kind of like, which I read like some other good books since then, don't get me wrong, and I'll go over those, but I think for sure, specifically Wings and Ruin, up there as probably my top book right now. Right now, I I don't know if that's controversial or not, but I love that book just because how much like action was in there and it was constantly go go go. Like there was no slow moments. I just loved it. There was still the smut, still a little bit of romance, which yeah, a little bit of everything in there. Whereas Summer Flames was a little bit too much smut. I felt like it was still good, but it was too much smut, and I didn't feel like it needed to be as long as it was. Yeah. So stay tuned because I probably am going to make a video. I definitely am actually going to make a video on the rest of the ACOTAR series altogether. They'll have their own separate video. So stay tuned for that. Mm. Mm. I was talking about Fourth Wing and got into ACOTAR somehow. Oh, excuse me, that's so rude. This spaghetti good, y'all. It's cold, but it's good. So, Fourth Wing. Yeah, I read Fourth Wing in the fall of last year, I believe. Somewhere around that time. And then I immediately read Iron Flame. Loved both books. Iron Flame I liked a lot more than Fourth Wing. Which, I don't know if I'll make videos on that only because, shit, I don't remember a lot of the shit that I read. But we'll see, I may or may not. But anywho, I fucking loved it. It was so goddamn great. I was so excited because the third book, Onyx Storm, was coming out in January. Everyone was talking about it. There was a lot of hype, a lot of buzz right around the initial release date. And I like I didn't splurge. I like gun-hoed it and got the fucking book. And it still has not been read. I read one chapter, maybe, of Onyx Storm so far. Not that it's bad or it just feels. I feel like I'm in so many different series right now, like big fantasy series right now, to where it's just gonna take me a minute to get back into that series and just get back into my groove, if that makes sense. So I do plan on reading Onyx Storm. That is on the TBR. I don't know if it's gonna be. No, I'm gonna be honest. It's not gonna be done in this month. I have too many other books. but that is coming up probably next month for April. Mm. Mm. What else? What do we have next? I got my little notepad here. Okay, don't judge me, cause I can't keep track of shit. Even with the fucking notepad, I can't keep track of stuff in my head. Um, I also read a book called Serpents of the Night. Serpents of Wings and Night. Why did I not look the book up before writing this down? I think it's Serpent of Wings and Night. Anyway, go look it up. It's a fantasy romance book. Love that book as well. That's also a series, but it's like only two books for this particular character, I believe. I don't know, but I got this book actually from a friend. Devoured that in like a fucking week. I read that shit quick. It was so goddamn good. Um, and the book pretty much is just about a girl. The book pretty much is about the main character. Her name is Araya. She's a human. She was taken in, adopted as a baby from this vampire king named Vincent, I believe. Yeah, Vincent was his name. And he trains her up and stuff, to be strong, be a warrior, be an assassin. And it's all so she can succeed in this tournament where she gets any wish she wants granted. And her wish being that she become a vampire herself, and then like live comfortably without a fear and not be in fear and stuff, and can be the rightful daughter of this vampire king that adopted her. And so of course she meets Rain, the MMC, along the way and stuff, and they have their little thing and whatnot. It's real cutesy. It's real like it's very like I would say prototype fantasy romance. I'm not saying this is like breaking the ceiling or anything like that, but for what it was very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There were no moments where I was like, I was bored. I will say that the beginning does start really fucking strong. Um, just side note, it's not gonna make sense if you haven't read it, but because I don't think I'll make a video on it because it's not like super popular. The friend or whatever got what they deserved. So yeah, I read that book. It was really good. Ooh, I should get ratings off. Okay, so I say that book I would give if I'm doing out of 5 stars. Ooh, not five, not three, four. I give it 4 stars. Four and a half. 4.2. I give it like a 4.2. I definitely would recommend it. So, and if you read it, please let me know if the second book is as good as the first one. If it's not, I don't want to waste my time, so let me know that as well. The next book that I read was. Sorry, I have the book. Where I should be pulling these books off. The Infamous Assistant to the Villain. Let me gather my thoughts real quick. When I tell y'all, I don't even want this on my shelf. Just, fuck that book. When I tell y'all that the way this book was so hyped up on Book Talk, I thought this was gonna be so goddamn good. So just blow my freaking mind, right? And mind you, I didn't know that it was YA. I'm still new to the community. I think that I don't like YA books. Maybe I haven't read a bunch, but the two that I've read haven't been that great. Anywho, but this one in particular, oh my god, it was just so. It was so slow. I felt like nothing was happening. Okay, mild spoilers. Okay, mild. I'm not gonna spoil anything heavy, but mild spoilers for the book. Okay, mild. So, just to give a heads up. So the main character, right? She like instantly seems. First of all, she's in the woods for whatever reason, or not whatever. She's in the woods, okay, and she knows that this villain guy, that tortures people and kills people lives in the woods, but she doesn't care because her life's so horrible. Woe is me. So she goes in the woods. She of course runs into the villain, and instantly you could tell that she's in love. She doesn't say it, but you could tell she's in love, and it's just because he looks good, and that's literally it. Because they have nothing else to go off of, and she's instantly infatuated with him, and it's just like it's fine to be her to be infatuated with him, but like I said, it seemed like she was in love, and it was just right off the get go, and so it made the romance aspect like it didn't feel earned. It felt like it was just given to us, and that's not interesting. I don't want my romance to be that. I want the romance to be. I want them to fight. I want them to like be killing each other. I literally want like the main character, the guy, to sleep with her best friend, and then her hate him so much, and she wants to like stab him in his sleep because he did her so wrong or whatever, and then like they end up falling in love. Like, is that weird? Okay, maybe not that example. Maybe not quite like that, but I want them to hate each other and then fall in love. And this one just felt like it was instant. And then the overarching plot was there's some traitor in the midst, which the reveal, I will say, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, okay? I'll get 10 out of 10. Because I was not expecting that reveal at all. I thought, okay, I thought it was one person, it wasn't them, and I was just like, I don't know who it could be. And then when I found out, I was like, never saw that shit coming. So that's kind of why I want to read the second book, but I probably not, just because that one thing, it was cool at the end, but if I have to struggle all the way through to get to that one good part, the book's not good. I'm sorry. There should have been something else to keep me more engaged in it. There was like little stuff happening, but not happening at the same time, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I just feel like if the second book would have to be really, really good, because this book, I was like, oh my god, I don't know. I was like, did I read the same book as everyone else? Because I don't know why people were raving about this book. Like, it's not. I feel bad calling a book like horrible and bad. It's not. It's not horrible. It just isn't good. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend that book to anyone. But yeah, that's Assistant to the Villain. Okay, I would give it. Shit. I'll be nice. I'll give it 2 stars. It literally, that book was like 2 stars. Moving right along. I got my Kool-Aid, lemonade to go with my spaghetti. It's just that kind of night, y'all. Okay, since we're already on the subject of bad books, let me just get this one out the way as well. Another book that I read, also YA, Caraval. Now this book, I had just finished an audiobook, and then I needed something else to listen to, and my coworker, excuse me, my coworker recommended this book, and mind you, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I've heard about Caraval. It wasn't necessarily on my TBR, but I heard about it, and she told me to read it, and I was like, okay, cool. So I didn't know, she didn't tell me it was YA. Okay, she didn't tell me at all. I'm listening to it. It starts off so fucking good. It starts off like up here, so fucking good, because you have the thing between the sisters and with the dad and their relationship, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why is he acting like this? Why at first, and then I didn't understand the punishment thing. Like, I was like, what the fuck? And then come to find out, it's like, oh, it's like that. It's like, yeah, it's like, yeah. It's not gonna make any goddamn sense if you haven't read the book, I'm realizing, but so be it. I don't want to spoil. So yeah, it was really good in the beginning, right? And then they get to this island, and I'm expecting like some fucking Greatest Showman type level, like carnival experience type thing or something, and that is not what we got. I was super confused the minute like we got on the island. I didn't know what was going on, which I get is kind of the purpose, but even like when they're explaining stuff, I still wasn't understanding what the fuck was going on. I'm sitting there like trying to mentally picture what the scene is looking like, and the mental pictures weren't mental picturing, basically, okay? It didn't make any goddamn sense. I felt like I found myself just not caring at all, because I got tired of the main character talking about, my sister, I gotta find my sister. And it's like, girl, like, she don't care about you, okay? The end was good, okay? Don't get me wrong, the end was really good. I wasn't expecting that at all. But again, just like Assistant to the Villain, just because the ending is good, that does not justify the whole beginning and middle part of a book being mid as fuck. Like, I could have DNF'd, and I wanted to DNF this book so many times, so many times. It was so confusing. And then the male main character, he wasn't giving nothing. Like, he was fine. I listened to this on audiobook, and the accent or whatever was very sexy. I was kind of like, ooh, okay. But aside from that, it one dimensional. I wasn't invested in the characters at all. I did not give a fuck. This book I honestly would rate. Oh, was it better or worse than Assistant to the Villain? Ooh, which one did I like more? Honestly, I think I liked Assistant to the Villain a little bit more, but it's still very close. Would I rate that one a 2? I'm gonna give this one a 2 as well. Like, they both are 2s. And again, let me know, is it just the young adult genre? Cause I have plans. I really want to read Legendborn. That's on my TBR. It's been on my TBR. Everyone's talking about Legendborn, how good it is. It's about a black main character, so I really want to check that out. But it's a young adult, and I've already had two very bad experiences with young adult. And if this third one don't work out, I'm never gonna probably read a young adult book again because it's just not my thing. I don't know. Let me know, please. Let's change beats a little bit. So I did make like a little short or something, I think, about The Housemaid. So, which is a thriller. I read The Housemaid sometime last year, and I finally got around to reading the second book last month. Which, oh my god, like, it's so good. The first and second book are very similar, kind of the same aspect format, but they are different in their own way and still good. They're still pretty fucking good. I was enjoyed. I was never like bored or anything. I don't plan on reading the third one only because I heard really bad things about the third one. So I'm cool with reading the first two. I'll probably read some more Frida McFadden books. I hear about her all the time, and I like to switch it up, genres, and so thrillers are cool. I don't know about horror because horror. I don't know about horror books, because I get scared real easily. Okay, and then a lot. Especially now, I'm listening to audiobook, and if I'm at work or whatever, I work in a lab, okay? And if I'm in the lab or whatever, and sometimes it be just me, I don't want to be listening to audiobook, some scary shit, and then I get creeped out, and then I can't do all that. So, thriller is like far scary as I'm going to get. But yeah, so The Housemaid's Secret, it's about Millie, the main character. She goes to work for this couple as, what is she, a nanny? No. A housemaid, damn, Anthony. A housemaid. And she realizes that something is weird because she's never seen the wife. She just stays in her room locked up. She starts hearing things and that's going on. She starts seeing like these weird ass signs, and so she's trying to figure out what's going on. And she does find out what's going on, and things take off from there. And that's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to spoil anything. So, but it's good. It's very good. Again, much like the first one, but still a great read. Recommend me some other Frida McFadden books. Some ones that I have right now on my list as far as her are, wait, I was gonna say The Silent Patient, but I don't know if that's Frida. And I don't want to get dragged if it's not. But that seems scary, so I don't know. Okay, just recommend some other Frida books, okay? Moving right along. Oh, okay, so this one is like action fantasy, I would say. I guess. Six of Crows. So, this book, before I even like started reading at all, I had a coworker that raved about this book, said it was her favorite fucking book, and initially I read it, and I was like, oof, this book. I read like just a little bit, like a chapter or whatever, and I was like, oof, I'm not understanding what's going on. It's like horrible. The prologue was like confusing as fuck, and I question if we really needed that prologue because it like I don't know, but I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what the hell a Grisha was, and then there were these like Russian names, and I couldn't follow who was who, and it was a lot to like gather and wrap around in my brain. But by the time like we made it on the boat and stuff, and it progressed from there, I was like, okay, we got our core cast. I know who the core group of seven of them, however many of them. I know who the core cast was, and then it made sense from there. Favorite character, I would probably say is Nina, just because. Wait, I haven't even told you guys about the book. Okay, so Six of Crows. Six of Crows is a book pretty much about like a heist. It's a group of people that come together. There's a thief, a wraith, a magic user named, which is called a Grisha. What else? Explosion expert, a military guy. Like, there's a bunch of combination of different people coming together to pull out this grand heist, and yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. But within it, there's different things. So like one of my favorite characters, Nina. She is in love with this guy that does not like Grishas, because he's in the military, and they believe that Grishas are witches and stuff because of their powers. And so there's like real enemies and lovers. Like I was talking about in Assistant to the Villain, how we didn't get no enemies and lovers. They handed it to us on a silver spoon. This book makes you work for it. Like there was one point where like I thought for sure he was gonna kill her. I had seen a little bit of the TV show because I didn't know that the TV show, I think it's called Shadow and Bone. I don't know. I didn't know the TV show was based on this book. So I had seen the TV show like a year or whatever ago, not having any idea until I'm starting to hear names, and then I start Googling stuff. I'm like, oh, it's based off this. These are connected. So that's why I knew a little bit eventually, you know, they would, you know, come together. But yeah, like when I said enemies of lover, Nina and Matthias, they were like the way just I fucking ate that shit right up. So, and I just feel like it makes it so much worth it when you see two people that genuinely hate each other just for them to like eventually get there. It's like it just makes it all the much more better. So yeah, Six of Crows. Literally, I would say not my favorite book, not but still a very very good book to the point to where I do plan on reading the second book. But overall, I would rate this book probably not 5 stars, definitely not 3. So it's on 4.5. What did I give a 4.2? Oh, was it better than Serpents of the Night? They're very different. Mm. I gave it a 4.1. Which I know is not that big of a difference. But yeah, I thoroughly did enjoy it. It was good. It was entertaining. But again, it took me a minute because I was so goddamn confused as far as characters. I didn't know what was going on for a little while, and that was frustrating, you know? Because I want to know who the characters are and what's going on. And so I felt like it could have been introduced a little bit better. But when I did get it, then I was like, okay, cool. And I loved it. Each character I actually ended up loving in different ways. And I felt like the character development is just it's spot on. Like all the characters in our main core, they get developed and fleshed out. So I really appreciated that. Moving right along. The next book that I read that actually the end of last month, beginning of this month, I think. Red Rising. So which is surprising because I'm not a big sci-fi fan either. Um, Sci-fi or dystopian. I'm not usually a big fan of that. But I did like it. I did almost DNF it. I almost DNF'd it because again I listened to it on audiobook and I was listening to it on audiobook and it just wasn't clicking for me. I wasn't understanding a lot of stuff that was going on. Just I think and I think that's just kind of how it is from what I've seen with other content creators. From when you're going into like a fantasy series, stuff just doesn't make sense, and you kind of just have to accept it. But it's so frustrating because I'm like, shouldn't it make sense? Why am I so confused at the beginning? And then I get stressed out, and I'm thinking like, oh, if I don't understand what's going on now, then later on I'm not gonna be understand what's happening because characters are being introduced, and I should know who each person is. And it's like, no, no. Like some characters are there, and then they're just not there, and they're not that important. So I gotta focus on not getting so hung up on every little detail in the beginning. Because I did honestly almost DNF this book, which I'm so glad I didn't. I'm so glad I didn't, because I would have been pissed. Because this book was actually really fucking good. When we get to like the core of like the tuning exams, which if you don't watch anime, you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. But when we get to like the core of where the core setting of where the book takes place, shit starts going. It's going. It's chugging. It's moving along, and I fucking loved it. The main character, Daryl, he's cool. I like it. It's nice to read about to have a male main character because all the books I've been reading up till now have been following females, which is fine, but it is nice to have like a change of pace and stuff. And he's a good main character. I think that what we get from his backstory was just super sad. I kind of predicted what was going to happen, but it was super sad. It was crazy the way how you can be in a box one moment and then when you get out of that box it's like what the fuck, so that was crazy. I was mad for him, and just I love his strategy and his planning. Sometimes it kind of was like it was weird. It was like sometimes it seemed like he was this great planner. He thought everything through. It was all going a certain way that he planned out, and other times he did some stupid ass things to where I'm like, bro, like you didn't think of that. Like, why did you make? I don't know. So a little bit back and forth, but overall, I liked his strategy and stuff, and it made it interesting. It made it good. I love a lot of the characters in there. There are a lot of characters that I would say there may be a little bit too many characters because some of the characters it was hard to follow. Like I can't even think of a lot of their names. Only the main ones come to mind, but there are a lot of like side characters that don't get fleshed out. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I was a little bit confused too, because there's a lot of names that get thrown at you, and it's like, fuck, bro, like I don't remember like who is this again, you know? So, but overall, I definitely would recommend that one. I would give that book, ooh, 4.5, probably 4.5. Definitely do plan on reading the second one. I have Golden Sun. I gotta look at the order. I don't remember. I don't know the exact order, but Golden Sun I saw for free on Audible or in my subscription, so it's included. Probably gonna read the next book in the series for Red Rising. Um, Again, probably in April. Yeah, it's a little bit hard. I want to read like smaller books, right now, because we're already in the middle of the month, and I kind of want to read like smaller stuff. I don't want to get into like this big, thick, heavy book right now, which leads me into my next thing. So a book that I'm reading right now. So again, I've been reading a bunch of books on audiobook. I think only one book. What? Oh, this book. Excuse me. Sorry. The Assassin's Blade. This is the only book I think for this month, the month of March so far, that I have read physically. The rest have been audiobooks, and it's been crazy. Like there would be like 6 or 7 more books on here if the I had the physical copies of the audiobooks. But I just like retain it better through audio for some I'm realizing, and I don't know. I just retain it better. I go through it faster. Not that I'm trying to speed through stuff, but it is nice to not be stuck, because when I'm reading, sometimes I harp on stuff and I go back a lot. But with audiobook, I'm finding that I don't go back as much to try and nitpick and rehear every little detail, which again I don't need to know. So Assassin's Blade is really good. I just finished a part up with the desert. Crazy, didn't expect what was gonna happen with that. Um, um, what's the next part? Oh, yeah, the underworld. Yeah. So I just seen from the title or whatever that she's about to go to the underworld, which sounds really fucking interesting. So I can't wait to read about that. I will say, as far as she goes, I wasn't feeling the whole beginning part of the book with the whole pirate thing. I was like, who does this wonky ass pirate? Like, why do I care? I don't know. That one didn't hit for me. I liked the one with the healer, and again when she went to the assassins camp in the desert. That was interesting. It is a little bit weird because it's like a bunch of short stories combined into one book. And I know these characters come back later because this is the prequel of the Throne of Glass series, which even in and of itself is a whole controversial debate. As was going back and forth between like should I read in order of publication dates, like the order that the books came out, or should I read the books in order of like how the series goes? And I was like, well, ultimately, as you can see, I decided to go in the order of how the story itself goes, and starting with the prequel, because I wanted to have that background going into the series and whatnot. I don't want to get confused like I was with other fantasy books. I want to know like what's going on, and so and I think it'll be cool like to know about these different characters we're getting in these different stories in Assassin's Blade, and then to come back to them like in the actual series itself. I think will be super interesting. So yeah, I like it. I should probably be done with that. I definitely will be done with that book before the end of the month. I'm like halfway. I'm more than halfway done with it. The main character is badass. I love fucking main character, especially when they do female. I love female characters that actually fight and can defend themselves and do stuff. I don't like the damsel in distress, like, oh, what was me, like defenseless female main characters. Like, I want the character to have some powers to be able to put up a fight, and like, it's way more interesting to me. So, which is why I think I like Serpent of the Night so much too, because the main character in there is also a badass assassin. So, well, not an assassin, but kind of. Anyway, so yeah, definitely liking this book, Assassin's Blade. I haven't finished it, so I'm not gonna rate it. I'm gonna wait to rate it because I haven't finished it, and things could dramatically dip. I'm hoping it goes up even more, but it could dip. So I'm gonna wait to rate that book. But yeah. So as far as what I'm reading right now, I'm reading a romance comedy. Definitely a comedy. Yeah, I would say romance comedy, which is my first true romance. I've never read a true no, which I don't even think I talked about this one. I did try to read The 7 Year Slip, which my God, so so I got a decent amount of the way through. I want to say like 20%, which I think personally is a decent amount. I got about 20% through that book, and it just was like I was not feeling it at all. And funny enough, I ended up losing the book. I still to this day do not know where that book is at. It's been gone and missing for like 3 months. I'm assuming I probably left it at a friend's house somewhere, or I don't know. I don't know. It's just gone. I haven't found that book, which I'm not upset about it because again, I didn't really like the book. Yeah. So that's why I was hesitant to read another romance book because that one was so bad for me. Um, but I am reading Act Your Age, Eve Brown, which oh my god, I don't know. I just was drawn to it because it's a black female main character. Like, what the fuck? And it's interesting because she's in this. It just from the cover you could tell it's like a interracial couple. Um, and again, it's a comedy. The author is British. I'm pretty sure from what I looked at. Yeah, so the author is British, and so there's a little bit of that like British humor. So sometimes I don't I feel like it doesn't translate as well, but it's still like really fucking funny. Like it's so damn funny. It's just some of the stuff that is said in there. I'm just like, what the fuck? Because it's so different from going from reading like a fantasy book from takes place in like ancient civilizations, and there's like just the time periods and stuff is so different. To then you go to this book, for example, to where now it's like modern day and just I don't know. It's just you just gotta read it. It's so fucking good. So anyway, Eve Brown is just a girl. She lives with her parents. She comes from money. Her parents are talking about cutting her off because she can't keep a fucking job. Which reminds me of someone that I know. But anyway, she can't keep a job, and she keeps getting fired or whatever. So they're talking about they're gonna cut her off. So she's just riding around one day and sees a job posting for a cook. She goes to interview for this cook position. I'm fucking dying out laughing. The whole interview process, oh my god. And then what happens immediately after the interview? It's just, I'm telling you, this book, it's a romance, but it's like comedy first and then romance. Like, it's so fucking good. Definitely recommend this book. Again, where am I at? Oh, I'm listening to this one actually on audiobook. So I don't know how far I am, but I'm a little bit less than halfway, I feel like. Yeah, definitely check this book out. It is worth it. It is worth it. Speaking of romances, a book that I picked up that is probably going to get read this month. Funny story. I've been seeing like Emily Henry for one. Like Emily Henry is like she's like Freedom McFadden, just one of those authors that everyone talks about and raves about, and it's supposed to be like one of from what I've seen her best books. And after reading this romance that I'm reading right now, I don't know. I'm here for it. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna give it a chance. And it seems like it's gonna be a comedy romance again as well. So I'm here for it. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty excited. What is it about? So I've heard like a bunch of content creators talk about it, of course, but when you hear about 20 plus different books, you forget. So Daphne always loved the way her fiance Peter told their story. How they met on a blustery day, fell in love over an errant hat, and moved back to his lakeside hometown to begin their life together. He really was good at telling it. Right up until the moment he realized he was actually in love with his childhood best friend, Petra. See, we this is gonna piss me off because I don't want to say too much, but this is how I feel about like I don't know. Can a guy and a girl be best friends? I mean, yes, if I'm being mature, yes they can, but it's just stuff that happens like this, right? To make you just feel like, damn, like they kind of can't. I mean, they can, but I don't know. That's just so annoying. Like, I go out of my way to trust you, like, to keep it cordial and just keep it friendly with your childhood best friend, but then you go and turn around and then fall in love with her, and like that would piss me the fuck off. Anyway, which is how Daphne begins her new story. Stranded in beautiful Waning Bay, Michigan. There's a random ass state. Sorry, Michigan people. Without friends or family, but with a dream job as a children's librarian. Honestly, a good job that barely pays the bills. Yep, and proposing to be roommates with the only person who could possibly understand her predicament. Petra's ex, Miles Nowak. Wait, what? Okay, so what's her name? Daphne and Peter are fiancés, and then Peter falls in love with his childhood best friend, Petra, and then Petra's ex and Daphne get together? This sounds like a bad Lifetime movie. Scruffy and chaotic, with a penchant for taking solace. These big ass words. Oh my god! With a penchant for taking solace in the sounds of heartbreak love ballads. Miles is exactly the opposite of practical, buttoned up Daphne, whose coworkers know so little about her they have a running bet that she's either FBI or in witness protection. That's me. I don't like telling everybody my business, okay? So, because people can't be trusted. Anywho, the roommates mainly avoid one another until one day, while drowning their sorrows, they form a tenuous friendship and a plan. If said plan also involves posting deliberately misleading photos of their summer adventures together, well, who could blame them? But it's all just for show. Of course, because there's no way Daphne would actually start her new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex, right? That sounded crazy. By falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex. I don't know. Like I said, it sounds like a bad Lifetime movie. I'm gonna give it a chance just because on the strength of everyone was raving about this goddamn book, and so not that that says anything because again, assistant to the villain. I'm looking at you. That book was, but I'm just gonna leave it here for now. But yes, so I'm excited to read that one. I have high hopes for it. So yeah, that will be a book that I read for this month. Another book that I plan on reading. I don't know. It's okay. Legendborn. Okay, I have been seeing so many people talk about this series. But it's YA. And again, I haven't had the best experience with YA books. Carval, Assistant to the Villain are both YA, and this book is YA. And if this book isn't good, 3 times you out. I'm not gonna read another YA book. Okay, so I really want Legendborn to be good because it's a black main character. And so I just want it to be good. I don't know. I'm hopeful, but I'm very skeptical just because I've been burned before. I have no idea what that book is about. Going forward in the future, we definitely will fix the situation because I'm realizing it is important for me to be able to describe what the plot is of a book. So sorry about that, but yeah. So that one will probably be getting read next month. Which I'm gonna make a separate April TBR. I'm just saying a lot of these books I'm pushing to next month because again I'm in the middle of the month and I don't know. I'm kind of already set on one book right now. I'm on 2 books: Act Your Age, Eve Brown, Assassin's Blade. Those 2 books, depending though on how long it takes to finish those, I don't know if I'm gonna start like another book. I probably will start one more book for sure. Yeah, I'll probably start one more book, if if anything, 2 at most. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it, you guys. That is the video. Thank you so much for checking this out. Again, I'm going to be releasing a separate April TBR as well as going over what a full list of what I did read for the month of March. And I'm going to be releasing other videos. I have a lot of different ideas for content that I want to make on this channel. I really do plan on being consistent with you guys because I want to like talk to you and engage and get your guys book recs and stuff, you know. And for you guys to read mine and tell me that I'm crazy. What the fuck? Why would you recommend this? I don't know if that could happen, but but yeah. So I have a lot of stuff coming. So just stay tuned, please. Please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Okay. It's your boy Anthony, Thereadingnewb, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.